Gresik, dan Banyuwangi.
Oke, itu tadi jalan-jalan di Unair hari ini. Semoga mengobati kerinduan teman-teman. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention, please, for we're about to start the session. Please mute yourself if you don't wish to speak or ask questions, because there will be a questions and answer session at the end of this agenda. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning in Scotland. I hope we're all in a good health today and having a very splendid day. First, I would like to greet our honorable guests for today's agenda. First, I would like to greet the Honorable Bapak Iman Harimawan, PhD, as the head of Erlangga Global Engagement, UNAIR. Our distinguished guest from University of Glasgow, Professor Claire McManus, as the Dean for Global Engagement of Southeast Asia and Australia region, Ms. Sonah Mak as the International Recruitment Manager, Mr. Alvin Firdaus as the International Officer of Indonesia's Office, and lastly, Ms. Colette McGowan as the Study Abroad Partnerships Manager, as well as a representative of University of Glasgow, who will be presenting for today's session. Besides, we will be also having my fellow IISMA 2021 awardee of University of Glasgow, Pauline Putri, and all of my beloved friends who attended today's event. Welcome to IISMA 2022 Socialization and Info Session in collaboration with University of Glasgow. Before we getting started, I would like to introduce myself. Hi everyone. My name is Quindira Izanina, and you can call me Queen. I am from the Faculty of Social and Political Science in UNAIR. Just like Pauline, I'm an IISMA 2021 awardee to Universidad Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona, Spain, that will be hosting for today's agenda. It's an honor to be able to host today's IISMA info session because last year, I was also a participant in IISMA 2021 info session too, just like you guys. I hope by joining this series of IISMA events, many of you will get the highest and higher chance to be the next awardees for this year's batch. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event will be started with an opening speech by the head of Erlangga Global Engagement. This agenda will be continued with a presentation from the representatives of University of Glasgow, where all of you can absorb many insights about tips on how to excel your interview for student exchange application program. Furthermore, U of G, or University of Glasgow, will also give you the insights on life at the Scotland. Maybe some of you are interested going to the UK. Then there will be a sharing session from IISMA 2021 awardee, Pauline, from Faculty of Public Health, UNAIR. And lastly, there will be a Q&A session before we end this agenda. But firstly, before we start this session, I would like to ask for all of you guys to see each other faces and kindly to turn on your camera because we are going to take a group pictures before we start this session. Okay, attention please to all of participants of this meeting. Please kindly turn on your camera and the Erlangga Global Engagement team will assist me to take this session's pictures.
Okay, thank you, Queen. I will take the picture of all you guys. Be ready. Okay, I will start from slide, first slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I will move to second slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And the last. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. What a wonderful happy faces. Okay, all of you guys here, you finally know about ISMA, right? To support one of the 8 programs of Campus Merdeka, Erlangga Global Engagement is committed to assist you, UNER students, to prepare to become the next ISMA awardees through the series of ISMA socialization. This is the 4th socialization of ISMA. If you missed the previous one, you can keep on track by accessing it on Global Unair Instagram or our YouTube channel. Besides, there will be a high chance for you to get the Duolingo English test reimbursement by attending one of these socialization. We will inform this further at the end of the session. To officially start the agenda, we respectfully invite Bapak Iman Harimawan as the head of Erlangga Global Engagement to deliver opening speech. To Bapak Iman Harimawan, the time and floor is yours.
Thank you, Queen Dira. Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning in Scotland. Warmest welcome to our guest, Professor Claire McManus, and also Sonahmak. It's great to see you again after a while. Yeah, and also Mr. Alvin Firdaus, and also Miss Colette McGowan, and some of our students, yeah, Pauline, Indira, and other participants, and also the committee from Erlangga Global Engagement. Thank you very much for attending this event. Today we will have a presentation from University of Glasgow, one of ISMA host universities in 2021. Today we will also have interview tips from for students exchange applications, and also we will have a sharing session from our students, ISMA awardees. And we know that everyone here is excited and has high expectation for the ISMA program 2022. We hope through this session, everyone can learn more about the programs, things to expect from ISMA, and also to prepare better for the upcoming 2022 selection. So take this chance to ask any questions you have about the programs or other similar opportunities at University of Glasgow. And thank you to all guests for taking some time out of your busy schedule to meet with our students. Thank you as well for the committee and audiences. And I hope everyone can have new information, motivation from this session, and have a fruitful discussions. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you so much, Bapak Iman, for the speech. And that's exactly true what Pak Iman had said just now. Because ISMA is a very limited program for bachelor degrees for all of the students in Indonesia, because it is limited only for the 2019 and 2020 batch for these years who are eligible to enroll in this program, and not all of the bachelor program is open for ISMA. Okay. As an ISMA alumni, I also feel that being enrolled in ISMA is the greatest opportunity for me to develop myself and discover myself in the foreign society and environment, as well as learning to give an impact to the people around me and the society. I'm sure all of you guys here are also very enthusiastic to be a part of this program. All right, before we get to the main event, I would like to inform the rules regarding Q&A session that will be held at the end of the session. We will be having, first of all, please introduce yourself, and please kindly rename your name into your name underscore faculty, and then type your questions after your introduction. Okay, all right. The next one is, I would like to welcome the representatives of the University of Glasgow, Professor Claire McManus, Ms. Sonahmak, Mr. Alvin Firdaus, and Ms. Colette McGowan, who will inform you about the life in Glasgow in Scotland, and to provide tips on how to excel your interview for student exchange application. Let's welcome the speaker, the representative of University of Glasgow, Miss Claire McManus. Hi.
Yes.
The floor
Hi.
is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone in Indonesia. It's my great pleasure to be able to meet with you all today. We have really enjoyed hosting IISMA students last semester. They are some of the brightest and smartest and nicest students I've ever met. And we look forward to welcoming you in Glasgow. We hope very much that some of you will choose to come and study with us. And I'd also like to thank the head of your international office at Erlanger, Bapak Iman, for his very warm welcome. And thank you also, Quinara, for your very efficient hosting of today's event. So my job is Dean for Global Engagement at the University of Glasgow. And when you come to Glasgow, I hope to have the chance to meet with you. We arranged several events for our last group of IISMA students. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the University of Glasgow. We were established in 1451. And you will see that on the next slide. The city of Glasgow itself was established in about the 6th century, and it finally became a royal borough around about 1450. And as soon as we had gained city status, the university was created. And we're one of the ancient Scottish universities, and we are the 4th oldest university in the English-speaking world. So we have a very long history, and we have a very proud history of welcoming students from all over the world. We're a founding member of an organization called Universitas 21. It's an organization that is responsible for setting worldwide standards of education. It's a global network. We're also a member of the Russell Group of research-intensive universities. It's very much like the Ivy League in the United States. And also, when you come to the University of Glasgow, you will see that we are a relatively large university. So we have 9,000 staff and about 4,800 research and teaching staff. And in terms of the numbers of students that we have at the university, we have about 30,000 students. Roughly 1/3 of these are international students. So that is considered to be on the large side for a UK university. So we don't have universities with 50 or 60,000 students in the UK. It's also a very dynamic university, but I want to just say a few words about the standing of the university. We perform very well in the university rankings. We were named Scottish University of the Year in 2 prestigious awards, and we were also named Scottish University of the Year for 2022. And we were also ranked in the top 25 in the UK for student experience. And the second award that we achieved was in the Times Higher, and that was, we were named University of the Year by the Times Higher Education for 2021. And that was in recognition of our work in addressing historical links to slavery. The University of Glasgow, many of the buildings in the University of Glasgow date from the 17th, 18th, 19th century. And that's when the wealth of the city was created. But unfortunately, a lot of that wealth was created from links that we had with the New World in the United States, for example. So the university has led the way amongst UK universities in addressing and making retribution for any wealth that was linked to slavery. And that was why we achieved this accolade. We have just published a new 5-year strategy, World Changes Together. And I think the thing about the University of Glasgow, and indeed the city of Glasgow, is that people are very much at the centre of this strategy. A long time ago, way back in the 1980s, the city of Glasgow had to come up with a slogan. and a slogan that would reflect the city and the people in it. And that slogan was Glasgow Smiles Better. And you'll see that Glasgow is frequently regarded as being a very friendly city, and that people who come to visit us immediately feel at home. And we've reflected this attitude within the University of Glasgow itself. You may or may not be aware that the University of Glasgow is a very proud European university. We have very strong links to partners across Europe, but unfortunately the UK is no longer a part of the European Union. But that means that we still continue to have very strong links to not just European partners, but particularly international partners. We are making a very strong effort to really revitalize and deepen our links with international partners across the world, and particularly we have a particular focus on Indonesia. If I turn to the next slide. The University of Glasgow is an ancient university with many beautiful ancient buildings, but we're also at the same time a modern university campus. Over the next 10 years, we are investing £1 billion in a programme of building development. We have we've already opened 3 new buildings. We have the picture you see there is a brand new learning and teaching building with plenty of study spaces and cafeterias for our students, and it reflects state-of-the-art learning facilities for our students. We also have opened a brand new research building as well, and we're about to open further buildings, such as a building for our Adam Smith Business School, and there will basically be a brand new building every year opened on the campus. And we are in a unique position that we are based, we have a city campus, and this new development is really happening right alongside the main university campus. So everything connects up very well together. If I go on to the next slide. This slide is just emphasizing that we are a global university, that we have very strong research and teaching partnerships with universities around the world. For example, Columbia University, University of Hong Kong, and we are a founding member, as I said, of Universitas 21 and also the Guild of European Research Intensive Universities. We have over 300 study abroad and exchange partners around the world. We have a student exchange agreement with Universitas Gadjah Mada in Georgia, in Indonesia. Our Adam Smith Business School has established a double degree program with the Institute of Technology in Bandung, ITB. And of course, we are very proud to be an IISMA university and proud to receive IISMA students. And I just want to say a few words about my role and the role of my colleagues here today. We have present at today's meeting our inter-country officer, Alfin, and he is based in Jakarta, and that's a sign that the University of Glasgow is very firmly committed to deepening our existing links with Indonesia, and we want these to be mutually beneficial partnerships. I've had the pleasure of visiting Indonesia many times now, and I have particularly fond memories of visiting, for example, Erlanger University, Surabaya. I think that was about 5 or 6 years ago, but I've had the fortune of visiting several universities across Indonesia, and I'm very much aware of the interesting research that's going on at your institutions, research on renewable energy sources, for example. And very much aware, as I said at the beginning of this presentation, of the very, very smart students that we receive through the IISMA programme and through other programmes to the University of Glasgow. So I'm going to just pause here to thank you for listening to me, and then to pass over to my colleagues to tell you a little bit more just about what life will be like at the University of Glasgow.
For inviting us to the session today. I'm sorry that we're not quite in a position yet to come out and speak to you in person, but hopefully we will be able to do that in the next couple of months, be able to come out and meet with you in person. I'm conscious that when you're making a decision like this, you've got a number of universities that you can choose from, not just in the UK, but also across the rest of the world, actually, that you might want to think about if you are selected as an IISMA student. And I just wanted to give you a bit more information about why you might want to consider Scotland and indeed the University of Glasgow. So when you think of Scotland, I suspect many of you think of scenes that are very similar to what you can see in the background of those slides there. So that beautiful mountain scenery, the sort of highlands, the water in the background there. But Scotland, so it very much has all that, and our students enjoy being able to explore some of the most beautiful parts, not just of the UK, but indeed across the world, taking part in outdoor activities such as mountain climbing, being able to go outdoor swimming if you're feeling particularly brave, and really explore some of the beautiful scenery that makes Scotland famous for what it is. That said, we're also an extremely vibrant and multicultural city as well. So there are lots of things that you can do that you perhaps might not associate immediately with Scotland. You know, we're not just that traditional city, that traditional country that you think of when you look at these sorts of images as well. And if we head on to the next slide, just to really focus in a little bit more on the city of Glasgow. So Glasgow itself is actually the largest city in Scotland. Edinburgh is the capital, but Glasgow is actually is the largest city and is the fourth largest city in the UK, just after London, Birmingham and Manchester. For me, what makes Glasgow stand out, and I've lived in a number of cities across the UK, including London and including Manchester, is Glasgow for me really is one of the friendliest places, not just in the UK, but in the world. It's regularly voted as one of the best cities to live in, to study in, and is often sort of regarded as a really exciting place to spend your time. It's a very young city in many ways. The University of Glasgow is one of 4 universities actually located in the city centre. So it's a really young, international, vibrant population. And that's reflected in the facilities that are available throughout the city. So there is lots and lots of shops and restaurants that you can visit. There's every kind of foods that you can try, including we do have a number of Southeast Asian restaurants which serve some local dishes that will perhaps remind you of home, whilst allowing you the chance to try foods and drink that you perhaps not tried before. It's also a really green place as well. So the name Glasgow actually means dear green place. So within the city itself, we have just under 100 parks and public places, including a number that are very close to the university itself. And our students really like that ability to be in a big, busy city, but also to be able to experience some green parks and relaxing spaces in between their studies. For those of you who enjoy music, we're one of the UNESCO City of Music. And what that means is that there are usually more than 100 live music events taking place across the city every week. And the building that you can see in the back of the slide there, it's not the Sydney Opera House, it's a very similar design, but that is actually the Hydro, which is the 4th busiest music venue in the world and plays home to lots of live events and bands that hopefully you'd get a chance to experience and listen to during your time as a student as well. If we head on to the next slide as well. So the university itself is actually located just outside the main city centre. So we're in the West End of the city. And I really like the sort of contrast of the West End to the city centre. The West End itself is the size of many other university towns. It's almost like a small city in itself. And it's really, really vibrant and multicultural. It's a little bit different to the city centre because the city centre tends to be where the big shopping malls are, where you'll see familiar brand names. It's very much the sort of main hub of the city. The West End for me is a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more cosmopolitan. It's a bit more independent. It's reflective of the community that we have studying at the university. So there are still big brand names. You'll still find a Starbucks on most street corners, but you'll also find lots of independent shops and cafes and coffee shops, for example, many of which have actually been started by students or alumni from the university. There's also a number of really exciting cultural attractions that you can visit in the West End, including the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery, the Botanic Gardens, and the Oran Mor, which is a beautiful traditional venue with lots of sort of very traditional architecture, which plays live music and theatre as well. We just head on to the next slide. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our sort of Indonesian community here at the university. So we host one of the largest Indonesian communities, or student populations here in the UK. We hosted one of the largest IISMA delegations last year. So we had just under 30 students studying with us, and we are one of the most popular choices for Indonesian applicants who apply through the likes of Chevening. What that means, and again, I'm sorry, these aren't the most exciting photos in the world, but I know they're really important to just really show you how that is reflective in the support facilities that we have available throughout campus. So there are prayer rooms and things available for you that you can access during your time there, and that's very much something that is reflected throughout the university. We are a very welcoming and multicultural university and city, and you will feel safe and secure and welcome wherever you are across the campus. As I mentioned, we are, as I say, we host one of the largest Indonesian student communities in the UK, and that is reflected by some of the fantastic work that the PPI Greater Glasgow do. So the sort of the PPI Society, as you know, is a hugely influential, hugely supportive network of Indonesian students and alumni. And we've got the honour of sort of hosting, again, one of the larger societies within the UK. The society itself is mainly run by University of Glasgow students, but there are other universities within the Glasgow and Central Scotland region who host that. So we have students from the University of Strathclyde, we have students from the University of Stirling, University of St Andrews. So it's a really nice opportunity to meet with other Indonesian students and have that little sense of home while you're somewhere that's quite far away from home as well. Over the next couple of slides, you'll see some of the events that they have ran over the last couple of months. So they host a really nice mix of what I would see as sort of formal study focused events. So there's some events there on things like, what to do after graduation, hints and tips on academic writing. They also offer sessions on, networking and meeting with other Indonesian students, but they also host a number of more sort of, I guess, fun events. So you'll see on the next slide, we've got a poster from the Festival Indonesia, which happens usually round about Indonesian Independence Day each year. That is just one of a number of social activities that take place. I'm always really impressed at just how supportive the society are in welcoming other Indonesian students to the UK, from, as I say, more formal events down to, I think my favourite story that I'm aware of from the community is some people run almost like a little mini food delivery service. So if you're batch cooking a big pot of nasi lemak, nasi goreng, any of your sort of favourite dishes, quite often they'll put a little message out through WhatsApp and see if anyone else wants some food, and they'll deliver it to your halls of residence, which I just thought was fantastic. It was like a little local grab food network that they run to be able to allow you to have that sort of taste of home if you can't be bothered cooking for yourself. And this just shows you again the Glasgow influence across the PPI UK network. So we do have a number of our students from the University of Glasgow who sit on the UK-wide group organising events, looking at social media, branding, publicity as well. So there's a really fantastic support network there for you, both within the university and from your peers and other students who are going to be studying there as well. I'm going to pass you over now to my colleague Colette, who's going to give you a little bit more detail about the study abroad programme and what it would look like if you were studying here in Glasgow.
Thanks, Shona, and thanks, Claire, as well. And also just to echo Shona and Claire's thank you to you for inviting us to talk to you today. We hope you will find this a really useful session, and obviously we will have a time for asking questions at the end. So I was just going to talk a little bit about the general study abroad programme at the university, which as part of the IISMA programme you would be taking part in. The study abroad programme has been running for quite a long time at the University of Glasgow, which shows our commitment to mobility and to internationalisation. We have many international partners across the world, so many throughout Europe and the rest of the world that we are partnering with and where we are also sending students to. One of the main, I guess, selling points and unique points of the study abroad programme is our flexibility, and we do allow students to choose from a wide range of classes, and I'll talk a wee bit more about how that relates to students on the IISMA programme shortly. You also, as part of the study abroad programme, as a student on that programme, you will have dedicated support from a team based in the university, the visiting and study abroad team, and they look after you and help make sure that everything is working correctly and that all your classes, etc., are fully enrolled. So that is one of the other advantages that you can expect as a study abroad student. We also guarantee accommodation for all students coming through the IISMA programme. So you generally, we try to locate the IISMA students in the same residence or close by so that you have a group of students that you are sharing with. And it is usually within quite a short distance to the university. We also offer a full orientation programme at the start of the semester. Unfortunately, last year that was virtual, it was a remote orientation. We are hoping that this year it will be much more in person with many more events for you to take part in during that orientation period, which is normally runs over the course of a week prior to the start of teaching. I mentioned already you have an on-site advising team, that's the study abroad or the visiting student team who will look after you. And we talked a little bit already about the flexibility of the programme, but also key to note is that you, when you are studying at the University of Glasgow, you are fully integrated. So you're taking classes alongside regular degree-seeking students, so students from all over the world, which will give you a truly international experience and allow you to mix with students from all over. In terms of how the programme is actually structured, the IISMA awardees come to the university for one semester, and that is our first semester. So that runs from September through until December. So it roughly equates to around 13 to 14 weeks. The bulk of that will be teaching weeks, and then there's a week at the end, which is an exam week. The credits that you will take, it's a full load that we ensure that you take at the University of Glasgow, and our system that equates to 60 credits, which if any of you are familiar with ECTS, the European system, that equates to 30 ECTS credits. And that also equates to a full load in the Indonesian system. And I think I have a slide later that shows you exactly how many credits that is. I think it's roughly around 20. But that just shows you where it sits within the rest of the academic year. So normally our academic year is 2 semesters running over semester 1, which is September to December, and then semester 2, January to May. But you would come just for that first semester. And normally you would end your study with us before Christmas, so that would be roughly around the 20th of December, and that is normally when you would end your semester having taken your final exam and return home to Indonesia. Some of the subjects that are available, and I'll put this slide up a couple of times when we move on to the next part of the conversation as well. But these are just some of the courses that we hope to make available to the IISMA awardees for next academic year. These are courses which are running anyway at the university, and we are asked by Campus Merdeka and the Directorate General to suggest some courses that might be popular and that they can then pre-approve. So we have submitted these courses for approval and hope that these will be accepted and will be available to any student who is applying through the IISMA programme. We hope that there's quite a breadth of variety here for you all, and certainly some of these courses were running in the 2021 session and proved to be very popular. Also, just to touch on the other support that you may expect when you are at the University of Glasgow, you will have assistance to help you to choose your courses, to help you to enrol in courses. That all happens prior to starting teaching. But in addition to all of that, you will also be able to access all the other student support services at the University of Glasgow, which includes there being a doctor's surgery on campus. We have a disability service, so if anyone has any physical or non-visible disabilities, they are able to get in touch with the disability service, who will work with them to make sure that they are supported in all of their classes and all of their academics. We also have a student counselling and psychological service. There is a chaplaincy service which caters to all religions, and Shona already showed you the prayer room that is available for all students at the university as well. And additionally, we have an English language support division, which runs credit-bearing and non-credit-bearing classes, if any of you would like to take any more additional English language or feel that you need any additional support in that. Just, I was talking a little bit about the courses that we offered last year in semester 1 for our IISMA students, and this slide really just shows you, just illustrates which courses were deemed the most popular by the students out of the selection that we made available. So you can see here that the top course was it was Introduction to Scottish Culture, which we had around 22%. We had around 22% of the students who came to study with us were taking that course, and that is it's a fabulous course that offers students a real introduction to Scotland, what we're all about. So it's a mix of history, a mix of looking at the literature of Scotland and the archaeology of Scotland, as well as the Celtic nation and Celtic place names. So that has been a really popular course for many visiting students at the University of Glasgow, and will be available again in September for students to take. Thereafter, one of our other really popular courses was Climate Change and Sustainability, and it was very appropriate that it was running in September last year. We are in semester 1 because, as you may know, Glasgow played host to COP26, so it was a very nice mix of looking at the current climate changes that are happening around the world, and really was able to focus on what was happening at the COP26 conference in Glasgow at the same time. So again, that will also run in September this year, and we'll be able to reflect on what happened at COP26 and what changes have been picked up as a result of that. We were able, despite having being in the midst of a pandemic, we were able to host some social events for our IISMA students in 2021. And the next few slides are just some of the images that we took at one of the big events, which was the student event which ran in November, which was hosted by the IISMA students themselves, and they invited many staff along to that, and we were really excited and really honoured to be able to take part in that. So this is just some of the images and some of the pictures that we took throughout the event, which was a wonderful day where we got to experience some Indonesian dancing, some Indonesian singing, and many beautiful gifts were exchanged on the day as well. And then one other event that we were able to put on for the students was a city tour of Glasgow. So the students were able to be guided around the city of Glasgow, finding out about the history of the city and many of the really important landmarks. So this is one of the images taken just at one of the important landmarks in the East End of the city of Glasgow. So that is the part of our presentation, which is talking about the university. I'm not sure if you wish me to move on to the next part according to the schedule, but I will await your guidance on that.
All right. Is that all, Ms. Mego?
So Quintira, we do have on the schedule, you have us talking about tips for interview selection. So I wasn't sure if you wanted me just to go straight onto that part, or whether you wish to add anything to the to what we've just talked about.
If you want to add something, you can just go forward to this session because the time is yours. Sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in that case, we were moving on to just, we've been asked to give some tips or hints to students about applying for the IISMA programme. And the best things that I think we could focus on here are the benefits of coming on a study abroad experience, and really just the what you would hope to gain out of that study abroad experience, whether it be with us at the University of Glasgow or at one of the other universities around the world. And so I think for anybody who has that opportunity to study abroad, what you can definitely expect to gain out of that experience is the opportunity that's going to be presented to you. You will have a fantastic international experience because you will be studying in another country around the world, and you'll get to experience the culture of that country. But also, if you're coming to somewhere like the University of Glasgow, which is a very multicultural university with over 10,000 international students already studying at the university, you are going to experience and mix with students not just from Scotland and England and the other UK nations, but also from other parts of the world. And at the same time, you will be able to continue to earn credits towards your home university. So you're able to have that international experience at the same time as keeping up with your degree at your own university. You will be able to take many new exciting courses, and I've already shown you some of the courses that will be available at the university. Now, as part of the IISMA programme, I believe that you are encouraged to take courses outside of your normal major, and that is a fantastic opportunity for you all to be able to take something that potentially you wouldn't be able to take at your own university, but similarly you will have a wealth of courses that may be not even available at your own university because they're taught or they're specialist at the host university that you're going to be studying at. You will also have that opportunity to study at another top university around the world, and to experience everything that that has to offer. And that's only going to help your CVs when you are looking for employment or going on to further study at a later stage. It will also allow you to develop international networks with your academic staff, with your peers, your student peers, and with many other areas within the university as well, within subject areas. And again, that's something that's only going to benefit you as you progress through your academic and also work careers later in your life. And finally, boosting international and employment competencies. And we'll talk a little bit about those competencies in the next slide. So IISMA has explained, and hopefully you're familiar with the competencies that, that they have made available to everyone, that when we are choosing the classes that we are presenting and that we are offering to students, we are making sure that we are meeting those competencies for all students coming to the University of Glasgow. So you'll see here there are 10 competencies that have been presented, and within the 20 plus classes that are available at Glasgow, you will be able to tick off each of those competencies that are listed there as well. Again, the class list that I showed earlier on, so this relates to, again, to those competencies, but it's also a very broad based list of courses. Now, remembering that you are going to be taking courses out with your normal major, so you're not looking to take courses that you would normally take at your home university in your own degree. So this is your opportunity to really experience something totally different. So if there's anything that you were previously interested in and it just wouldn't fit in with your degree at home, then now you have that opportunity to alter and to really, I suppose, change up what it is that you're studying. This is only going to help you with your own degree. It's going to give you that added knowledge and that full-rounded experience. And as I mentioned already in one of the previous slides, the students that studied with us last year really embraced that flexibility and were taking courses like the Introduction to Scottish Culture. They took the Climate Change and Sustainability course, and many of them also studied psychology and philosophy. Philosophy was another course that was very, very popular. So hopefully you will be able to embrace those opportunities when you come to Glasgow, or indeed if you go to any of the other universities through the IISMA programme. So in terms of applying to IISMA and being successful, there are standard requirements that the IISMA programme requires of you before you can even really submit an application. So they're looking for students to be in between their fourth and their sixth semester of study at an Indonesian university. You need to be an Indonesian citizen, and your English language has to be of a good level. Now, something to note is that some of the universities will accept Duolingo, but the University of Glasgow this year will not accept Duolingo. So we are looking for IELTS or TOEFL scores from students coming through the IISMA programme, and they are consistent with the grades that are appearing on the screen right now. Importantly, you do also need to be nominated by your home university and have a current 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. In terms of the application process, hopefully, again, you're familiar with that. It is all done through the IISMA platform. So you would look for the university of choice, hopefully that will be Glasgow. You need to obtain a recommendation letter from the Vice-Rector, and then you complete the application on the IISMA platform and submit that. The next stage is finding out whether or not you've been selected for interview and going along to the interview itself. And in terms of, I guess, what makes for a good interview, it is just being able to articulate why you want to study abroad, what your future ambitions might be, and also perhaps why you're choosing the university that you're choosing. So usually we would suggest that you do a little bit of research about the institution, about the university that you want to study at, and perhaps a little bit about the background, i.e. the history and the country itself, and why you feel that that would be a good fit for you. And I think all of those things together will help will help your case to ensure that that you are selected for the IISMA programme. So it's really important to do that research about the university and about the country that you're coming to, just so that they know that you're committed and that you really want to visit that university. And then hopefully at the end of the process, you will receive a positive outcome and be told that you can participate in the IISMA programme. And this is just the timeline that I took from the DGHERT Campus Merdeka website. Now, it may be subject to change, the dates may be slightly out, but certainly that is the broad guidelines as to when you would submit your application and when you would expect to hear whether you've been successful. So at this point, I would expect that you should be looking to do a little bit of the research at the moment. So looking on the IISMA website, looking at which institutions are available to you, and then doing a little bit more in-depth research about each of those universities. I have over the years helped our students from Glasgow who are going out on exchange, and it is one of the key things that we do try to emphasise is when students are looking to select a university, they do need to know a good bit about it. There are many students who are applying, so you need to make sure that you are showing that that you know what you're talking about, and that your wish to study abroad is reflected in what research that you have done. And
I was going to, sorry Colette, just to jump in, the only other thing I was going to add, just as a bit of a hint and tip in, and you know what I will say is, I think what Colette and I have done with this is to sort of look at it from when we're selecting students to go and study abroad, because obviously we don't sit on the panel with IISMA who select who's successful. But one of the things that I think probably jumps out for me is the Indonesian government are incredibly generous with the scholarships they offer, both through this scheme but also LPDP. And I know that one thing that they're very passionate about, and I see it with the students that we have, is they're looking for students who are going to be positive ambassadors for Indonesia when they're overseas, but also for their home university, and who are then going to take that experience and bring it back to Indonesia and to their home university when they come. So we are looking obviously for academically talented students, but we're often, what I think is the little bit of extra is almost I guess almost that X factor, that little bit of someone special who we know is really going to throw themselves in to life at the University of Glasgow, make the most of that experience, embrace all the different things that you can do in and outside of the classroom, and then take that back and be able to talk about your experience. So it's been fantastic today. I know we've got Pauline who's going to give us a bit of an update on her experience, and we've got our fantastic host today and that's the kind of people that we're really looking for, people who are really going to, you know, share and empower others to then have the same sort of experience as well.
Thanks, Fiona. That's really excellent additional information. And with that, yes, I think we will pass back to Kantira and allow you to carry on with the rest of the presentation.
All right. I would like to say thank you so much for the representatives from Uni of Glasgow for the in-depth and very insightful presentation. It's so incredibly wonderful and very detailed explanation of the life in University of Glasgow as an IISMA awardee. Okay, if I were given the chance to register for the IISMA program this year, maybe I would like to join the Glasgow because it's very fun, and I think it's so lovely to live in the green city. That's the translation for Glasgow name, is it? The Dear Green City. And it is a lovely music city, and I would like to agree for that since my favorite band, Coldplay. Do you guys, anyone here is a Coldplay fan? Because they are from Glasgow. Is it true? The Coldplay, okay. So, moving on to the next agenda. I would like to welcome Pauline as the IISMA awardee 2021 to University of Glasgow, as well as the student from University of Public Health Unair. Welcome, Pauline. The time and floor is yours.
Hi, yeah, thank you so much, Gwen, for welcoming in. Hi, I see very familiar faces, Alvin, Nicolas, Shanak, and then Claire. Okay, I'm just gonna share my screen. Oh, by the way, I constructed this PowerPoint in a very not structured. I have an idea in mind, just put it. So I didn't really structure them, or I didn't really order them. But yeah, I think I have plenty enough of memories to share here. Okay, so hi, my name is Pauline. I'm from the Public Health Faculty of Universitas Erlangga, batch 2018. And yeah, I'm focusing in epidemiology and happens to be only a nice student applying to U of G for IISMA 2021. So if by any chance, like in the IISMA 2022, if any of you from the public health faculty or from your own faculty, you're the only one applying to one university, you can contact me because I know the hurdle. How hard was it to get how to get accepted, and or maybe how to get all the bureaucracy stuffs. It was really tough, I know. Okay, so yeah, like it was mentioned before, Glasgow is the biggest city in Scotland, located in northern UK. So since for IISMA awardee will be starting from September to December, you will have a chance to actually see snow, actually, like we did. Like the IISMA awardee Glasgow, yeah, we were really lucky to spectate some snow and actually some windstorm, because there was like a windstorm before, like the Arwen, I think. It was really bad, but yeah, it was my first snow. Okay, we're going to continue, and then okay, so top 3 reasons why I chose U of G. First, the first choice of courses suitable for many. Like you can see before, there was like climate change and then geography. Yes, there's a geography course that actually takes the students to study trips to Edinburgh. So I didn't apply for geography, but my friends actually applied for geography and they got earth science. They applied for earth science, and they went to study trips to Edinburgh, where they visited hills and then just observe the stones and the rocks. It was really fun. And then for oldest uni in UK, 1451. I actually bought this t-shirt, this hoodie from the U of G shop. It says EST 1451. I just like to flaunt about that. 1451. It seems really cool. And then one times University of the Year, bit Oxbridge, if you haven't known. And also home for Harry Potter. Okay, so the courses that I took, Mastering Your Social World. This is actually, you'll be dealing with lots of data for this one. And we use this software called the R. Maybe in Indonesia, we're not really common to use R for statistical software. We usually use SPS as in Indonesia, but R is actually a really good a relatively new software, and I think it will be such an investment for everyone to learn R, starting to learn R, because lots of employees are actually looking for talents who are capable to use R. So yeah, it was a really interesting experience. And then Economic and Social History 1A, I learned a lot about slavery from this one, and I had a really good tutor, Fadasa Cook. Shout out to her. I really loved learning Economic Social History 1A. I was individually challenged. I was personally challenged learning economic and social history 1A. Other than the huge amount of research that I need to do, I've never, I'm studying from health, and here I'm studying history. There's a lot of things that I really need to, catch up. And then Scottish literature 1A. In Indonesia, it's not really common for us to learn literature. So when it's my first time to study literature, it was Scottish. I had a really good fun to read lots of, poems and poetries in Scottish. It was like really fun. We were asked to read the poems in Scottish in front of the class. It sounded really funny because we just, tried to read it, even though sometimes we don't really understand it. It was really funny. It was such a really good experience. And then, but U of G turned out to be so much more than that. First, why you should choose U of G. Cheers was the student life. Do you see the packaging here? So I actually asked my fellow IISMA friends that got accepted to other universities. And I think only a few percent of the IISMA awardees that got accepted to other universities received this kind of package. This is the package for new residences. I got it from my residence, and you see there's like shampoo, snacks, and everything. This pretty much covered up almost 45% of my initial necessities of settling in Glasgow. So thank you so much, U of G. And then there's like lots of students activities. This is in QM. I had a Christian community gathering that time. It was really fun. And then top-notch facility, great room facilities. You love the chairs. You can basically like turn around with those chairs. And classes are broken down into tutor, lectures, and labs. The lecture are online anytime. So there's this how do we call it in Indonesia? So it's just like this cyber platform, or this online platform. So all of the lectures are in the form of videos that you can access anytime, and it's online. You can access anytime. So you don't have to basically like tune in into a certain time or certain schedule to just watch the lecture. You can access it again and again. It's online anytime. And then the labs are either offline or online. I have an online and offline labs. And then tutors, so just offline, you get into class. It was I think I learned most at tutors, because in tutors, other than you get to engage directly with with your tutor or like your peers, it's pretty challenging because you'll be asked lots of questions, and you won't be able to answer if you have not read, the reading assignments. And you have not read your propositions for reading for the week. I think you'll just gonna be that one student who just stays in the behind and doesn't help anything with doesn't help your group work with anything. So tutors are really good. Tutors are a really good place to actually get deep with the topics of the week. This is our Moodle. In Unite, we have this kind of platform which is called Hebat. So this is the Hebat of U of G. And this is the room. I'm staying in Murano, by the way. And this is my room. It has the view is really great. I happen to have one view that oversees, I don't know, the back area, the garden one. Some of my friends got the view that oversees the road, which is, well, it's also good. And then there's this app, U of G Live. It really helps a lot. Oh, by the way, I got a queen size bed. It's really great. So no worries of, spreading your legs and everything. You got lots of space to sleep at night. And then this is the app. It syncs with your timetable automatically. So you get to see what time your class will be and where will it be. And then there's the final space. And this final space is actually the area where you get to see which spaces that you can learn to which you can use to study. So there's like the 1A is in Gilbert, and then Fraser Building, and then James McCune. It's just the time of when does it open, and there's also some of the study places, like James McCune, has a cafeteria. Maybe you need to budget in like £8 or £7. It's good food, by the way, and the menu changes every day. So yeah, very involved stuff. There's Claire, there's Ian, and there's Colette. Yeah, they answer your email texts in a maximum 24 hours. And I texted them through emails lots of times through untimely emails actually, and they still reply, "Thank you so much." I would already got, bashed by my lecturers in Indonesia if I texted them through in untimely manner. But yeah, thank you so much for dealing with me. So yeah, there's also, on the other side, why you should choose your OFGs, because there's Pak Alvin. Pak Alvin managed the Indonesian office for University of Glasgow. That's why you'll be able to, easily communicate your stuffs with Pak Alvin in Indonesia. So yeah, that's one of the plus, because there's not many universities that have Indonesian office. So yeah, jadi lebih gampang ngomong pakai bahasa Indonesia gitu. And then yeah, you see how the staffs really care for you. So that time when it's time for us to go back to Indonesia, some of my friends actually tested positive, but yeah, Colette here really took care of my friends. She created this kind of group to manage the students who had to remain back. So yeah, no worries if this kind of unfortunate thing happen, you'll be taken care of. So yeah, this was that time when we had this Christmas get together and the end of the closing of IISMA. This was sad, and it was fun as well. There's Colette and there's me and my friends. So yeah, you'll also be very look for that time in October. Early of November, I caught my first COVID. It was my first COVID, and I was in the UK. I mean, if you were me, you'd be very flustered with all the the language, or maybe some of you will be very, I don't know. Some of us will be very flustered to be tested positive in another country, where you don't even know who to call or what kind of bureaucracy that works here, or what's the flow and everything. But actually, I was really cared for when I got COVID there. I was also offered £30 or in Indonesian rupiah 600,000 Indonesian rupiah worth of Uber Eats to buy food. That was really great. And then yeah, I received lots of emails in Indonesia. I mean, back in my home, if I tested positive, my family would just kick me out. But I tested positive, and I've never experienced, I don't know. It felt really nice to have. I wish you never have to test positive for COVID ever. But if you're going to ever, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, being positive and in UFG, it was a really much better experience compared to the ones that I see my families had gotten through. Yeah, I received lots of support messages. The living support team actually contacted me asking if I needed help with groceries and everything. It was really touching. And then for a very diverse community, despite not being the capital city compared to Edinburgh, Glasgow is relatively much modern city. So yeah, I went to a Vietnamese food chain store in Glasgow. It's in the city center, I think. I forgot. And then yeah, there's Sing Futang. If you guys ever wondered, there's Sing Futang, guys, and there's this Indian. There are lots of Indian foods in UK, by the way. And then yeah, I have recommendations. If you like chicken, go to Nando's. If you like Indian, go to Mother India. If you like Vietnamese, try Viet Thai. If you like hot pot, try Terracotta Warriors. If you like Japanese food, try Ramen Dayo. And then yeah, 6. It has unicorn as the national animal. Scotland is a very magical country. And then most beautiful uni in UK. So during my IISMA journey there, actually I visited Cambridge, Oxford, Manchester, and then I also visited Edinburgh and many others. But I can testify to this. Our campus is really, it has the best infrastructure and everything. The colors and everything is just perfect. UFG is also often called as the real Hogwarts. So yeah. And then yeah, these are some of my photos with my friends. This is in Cloister during winter. It was really, really magical. It was really pretty. And then there's the Hunterian Museum in the left side. So yeah, U of G actually has an in-house museum called the Hunterian Museum. So yeah, that's a plesiosaurus skull behind me, that one. And then the next one, and then on the right side, it's in the ground area in the Gilbert Scott building. Oh, by the way, one time, like on Monday afternoon, I vividly hear someone playing the Hogwarts theme in the Gilbert Scott. It was like really, really magical, and I got shudders for that. And it's the cloister without the Christmas lights, and then on the right hand, it's the in front of the Hunterian Museum entrance, and that's me in the U of G hoodie, also in cloisters. Yeah, and then 8, Home for Harry Potter. Lots of scenes in the Harry Potter movie actually taken in Scotland. The first book itself was written in Edinburgh. So yeah, that's me also in that Gryffindor scarf. You'll get this, I mean, basically everyone, even when you walk into Tesco, wait. Even if you walk into Primark is like the anggaplah matahari in Indonesia. You'll get to see lots of Harry Potter stuffs there. Not only like around the area. I mean, even in the U of G shop itself, they also sell plenty of Harry Potter stuffs in our school's shop. So yeah. And then the popular Glenfinnan Viaduct, featured in many movies. Skyfall, Hogwarts Express. Look at that. I took this picture. It was really, yeah. I mean, you get to see that. I didn't hop in, but yeah, you can actually ride on that train. And then beautiful sceneries. This is actually a screenshot from the Harry Styles video Sign of the Times. Yeah, Harry actually shot it, that scene in the Highlands. Oh, this one I can't miss this one. The cheap student tour packages. So there's this tour provider called the International Student Tour Scotland in Glasgow. Yeah, so they do pick-ups from the library. They usually in Glasgow area, they actually do pick-ups in front of the James McCune. So yeah, what are the budget? For the Scottish Highland trip, in Indonesia, Highlands is like puncak atau enggak Batu Malang, tempat-tempat dingin. So yeah, for the one day trip is actually £25. And then Harry Potter trips, you can actually, Harry Potter trips takes you to Alnwick Castle, where they shot some of the outdoor area of Hogwarts. And the Harry Potter Bridge before that I showed you before, around £35 for one day trip. And the Scottish Highland trips for 2 days, where you get to stay in a motel, 125, and then 3 days Scottish Highland trip, 165. It's really, really cheap compared to any other tours. So yeah, you can actually check out all the itineraries and buy all of the trips packages through Eventbrite. Yeah, I think I didn't know it. And then 12, home to many mythical creatures like our friend here, the Loch Ness monster, located in Loch Ness. Loch means lake, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. If you haven't known about Loch Ness, you should, by the way. It's really popular even in Indonesia. And the housings with international students. So like I told you, I stayed in Murano. Don't worry about not making friends because the housings are filled with international students and mostly parties from Wednesday to the weekend, especially in Murano. So don't worry, I get that a lot. I mean, yeah, even in my own flat, I'm in one flat with one Spanish, 2 American, one mainland Chinese, one Russian, and some of Indonesian friends. So yeah, don't worry about not making friends, because even if you don't make any friends in your own flat, you can actually make friends from people on the other flat. So yeah. And it's really lively. You should choose Murano. You should choose Murano as your place of stay in your G next time. And then modern mixed with Victorian buildings, compared to any that is fully Victorian, in my point of view. In Glasgow, you get the best part of both. See that kind of building? You get that in Glasgow, and in modern part too. And then, and Glasgow is very, very modern as well. You know Lani? You guys know Lani and Coldplay as well. On my first day out of quarantine, me and my friends actually go to this Lani concert that only costed like £25. Indonesian rupiah, equivalent to 500,000 rupiah. So yeah, Lani also performs there in Glasgow. Glasgow is actually a really big city. And then live in paradise, travel with ease. You can live in basically the paradise of the UK. I heard so many of my friends that lives in London or like Manchester, they travel to the Highlands. See, they travel far away to Scotland and the Highlands especially to just get that view of Highlands for the holidays. The Highlands is only 1 hour or so away from Glasgow. Look at that view. lots of castles in Scotland. Yeah. And then home to many movies and TV series. I mean, no doubt, like this one, The Elephant House. Like I told you before, the first book of Harry Potter was actually written by J.K. Rowling here in this cafe. And then Outlanders. You should really watch Outlanders, like a really good TV series. And then Harry Potter. Oh, so yeah, that's the Glenfinnan Viaduct train. And then on the second one, on the second upper right, that's actually where Voldemort died. No, there's actually where Albus Dumbledore was put down. And then yeah, there's on the second below one, it's Loch Shield, where Harry flew on the hippogriff. So yeah, there's like lots of Harry Potter shoot locations that you can actually visit in Scotland. Sorry, wait. And then this is in Edinburgh. This is the Victorian Street. This is actually inspired J.K. Rowling for the Hogsmeade village. So yeah, and also for the 17th reason is Glasgow hosted COP26. No wonder, of course. There are like some questions why wasn't Edinburgh be the place they hosted COP26? But I mean, haven't you said Glasgow? Okay, so there's our president, Mr. Jokowi. And then there's Claire and Pak Ridwan Kamil during the dinner. I wasn't invited, only student representatives are, but yeah, it must have been a really nice experience to meet, pejabat when they come to Indonesia and when they come to your university. And then that's that event where I think this was held in GU. So yeah, ada pejabat, there's like the minister of lingkungan hidup of forestry, and then there's like lots of other ministers, and there's also Pak Destra, our country ambassador, and everything. It was really, really fun. It was a really nice place to engage with lots of Indonesians, and yeah, to just have a little taste back of our country. And then for the 18th reason, there's like lots of reasons here. Family like PPI, Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia. So yeah, PPI Greater Glasgow was probably like my second family back then. I have lots of friends in PPI right now. It's actually the perfect mixture of intelligence and Indonesia. So there's like, if I could tell you one thing, community, the Indonesian community in Glasgow is like, it's actually the true definition of family, because I actually compared it with some of PPI nearby. I heard that other PPI was like really, really formal. Some of them are really too erudite and other stuff. It was no fun. But in PPI Greater Glasgow, I could testify to that. It's the perfect mixture of intelligence and Indonesia. Plus, most of the members are from U of G. You'd be surprised to know how often you'd meet Indonesian in Glasgow. So yeah, this is during, I think this was Sumpah Pemuda. I kind of forgot. Yeah, I think so. This was in George Square. And yeah, this is what the photo before the Claire showed. This one was, oh yeah, this one is actually Youth Pledge Day on October, and also in GUU. And yeah, we had a dancing session. It was like really fun. We had the dancing performance. It was like really fun. Yeah, and that's me when I conducted the music. And yeah, like I said, PPI was like really family. It has a really familial atmosphere. So yeah, back then when I tested positive for COVID, less than 30 minutes, the social division of PPI actually contacted me asking if they could call me and to just ask few stuffs. And right after that, in less than 15 minutes, a doctor from the Indonesian embassy actually contacted me to ask about my symptoms and if I needed logistics and other stuff. So yeah, and it didn't only stop there. So for like the next few days, I think for full 10 days, the social division from PPI Greater Glasgow actually contacted me every single day to just ask, how are you doing? And it felt really nice when you're like self-isolating. And yeah, on their very right picture, that's actually the night that after the Lani concert. We were only It was only the three of us, me and my IISMA friends, from the Atlantic concert. But like I told you, you'd be surprised to see how many Indonesian students that actually live in Glasgow. So yeah, we met a group of Indonesian seniors there, and it was our first time to ride the bus, right? We actually we wasn't really familiar with the bus stops and buses and everything. But yeah, we met an Indonesian after the Lani concert, and she helped us to get back home to Murano. So yeah, I'd be surprised to see how many Indonesians that there are actually in Glasgow. So yeah, the 19 reasons. There's like 20 reasons here. So yeah, we're getting to an end here. The 19 reasons acknowledges your rights as students. If you couldn't submit your assignment on time due to reasonable matters, you can submit an extension request up to 5 days, or a good cause request more than 5 days. 5 days, as long as you can show that it's reasonable. Like that time I tested positive for COVID, so yeah. I asked for an extension and I got granted to up to 5 days, and that actually doesn't include Saturday and Sunday. So and for example, if you're requested in starting from Wednesday, if you ask for 5 days 5 days extension request, you'll get a new extension date which should be on Tuesday. So yeah, that doesn't include Saturday and Sunday, so that's actually an extra 7 days, I think. That's pretty great. And if it's not, and other than like COVID or like any other stuffs, or if you have like, not so important matter, but you just needed an extra day to submit your assignment, some of the lecturers actually could grant you 1 day, a 24-hour extension. If your reason isn't strong enough, they could still grant you anyway. Oh yeah, so there's like this extension request form. There's this one time that we visited the Indonesian embassy in London. So there was Storm Arwen, so I couldn't get to London on time. So I needed an extension, a 1 day extension. I needed a 3 days extension. I was only granted 24 hours anyway, because yeah, it was Storm Arwen, and it's not basically my body feeling or anything. So yeah, but 24 hours extension is good enough too, actually. And yeah, library that closes at 2 a.m. Is it true? I think some of my friends actually went home at 2 a.m. from the U of G library, with super easily accessible online library and acceptable access for institution options. So we all know students actually need to access lots of online journals, right? And some of the journals online or articles online actually require you to either buy the article or rent the article for your research purposes. But there's actually not lots of people actually know about this, but there's this choice that you can choose, which is accessed by the institution. Unfortunately, as honor students, if you enter Universitas Erlangga, I don't think the journal would be able to recognize Universitas Erlangga, but they do recognize University of Glasgow, which is I'm still using right now for access to institutions' online journals. So yeah, so there's this eleanor.lib.ac.uk. This is a really easily accessible platform. I really love this one. I'm still using it today. I think I still have the access up until March. So yeah, that's pretty great. I could catch up with my scriptsy or my final dissertation. And then yeah, the library platform also shows the locations of the books that you need. See, on the left side, it actually shows the level and which shelf it is. So it's very specific. It's very up to date, the library. And then yeah, and the library and the library have different types of level quiet study. There's the red level, amber level, and SOC level. One time I talked too much at the red level. Someone actually scolded me. Not another staff, but like an Indonesian that happened to be there as well. So yeah. So this is the room at, I think it's like on the top levels. So yeah, that's it. Applying to U of G for my IISMA 2021 journey was one of the best decisions I have ever met. So I hope you'll make the right choice too on IISMA 2022. Thank you for your time. Connect with me on Instagram at Pauline3. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Pauline. Thank you so much for the very insightful and very passionate presentation of the magical and wonderful Uni of Glasgow. Yeah, it is true that from reflecting from what Pauline has said, that even though we're from the most likely different continent, but we're still from the Europe, that it is true the university will take good care of you, that you seem for the Uni of Glasgow healthcare, even though you're in a positive condition of COVID, and they take good care of you since the pre-departure and the departure until you're there. So I would like to say thanks to the board of directors of the Uni of Glasgow that has made the time to come for today, since it is a very cold morning in Scotland, I believe, in the middle of the cold winter. And I have just realized there is Pak Alvin, which is from Indonesia too. Hello Pak Alvin, selamat datang. And all of the University of Glasgow representatives, thank you for taking care of Pauline, for that she has made a very good presentation of you, because that's just how wonderful and very magical university in the Scotland. Okay, guys, so I would like to highlight and pinpoint from what Pauline had just said. It is true that the university in the outside of Asia, or maybe outside Indonesia, they will provide you a very incredibly huge access to academic matters and unacademic matters. Like they provide Pauline for a 2 a.m. library. Like, oh my gosh, who doesn't want that? Like, in the middle of your deadline, like 2 hours or maybe 3 hours, like you still can have the access to the library or the university with a very inclusive features of the university that you can apply. And for the party session, it is true that in the European or maybe Western culture, it is true that we study hard, but we party harder. Is it true, Pauline? No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
No.
But it is true that we party harder because it's the one of the way that we socialize. Is it true, Uni of Glasgow? Because some of the university provide the place and the time for the student to unite and to socialize with each other. And it is open for all of the students, like for bachelor, master and PhD, and even the non-degree students, like the IISMA exchange students. Like we can mingle around, and maybe you can meet your Indonesian friends, or maybe you can meet your frequency, like in the same frequency, like maybe from international students. And it is true that no worries for the IISMA awardees if you get accepted in the Glasgow, for you have seen that Pauline has been taken in a good care under the international office of Uni of Glasgow. And no worries if you fear that you will have no friends or you won't make friends there, because the first one, you have the PPI, Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia. Mereka sampai ada cabangnya di Glasgow. They have their chapter in Glasgow, not just only in Scotland or UK. So it's very detailed, and maybe I believe kalau sampai dibikinin cabang sendiri itu pasti banyak pengurusnya. And from my experience, I have also engaged in various PPI activities in Barcelona, in Spain, and I have mingled and I know a lot of the PPI students from masters or the same exchange students from different university or maybe in the same university, because PPI family is very helpful to maybe to help you adjust to the university if you have the chance to meet the PPE students from the same university as you. But in the case of Glasgow and in the rest of the world, I believe that you will find a sense of family in the PPE. Okay, thank you once more, Pauline and the Uni of Glasgow representatives for corresponding the both of our speakers' presentation. I believe that most of you may have many questions in your head, like maybe some of it hasn't been explained by the speakers, or maybe some of you would like to get more elaboration from the detail of the study in Uni of Glasgow. And did you see Pauline pictures? It was so amazing, like the Harry Potter, because I'm a Potterhead, and it is very good for you to get a refreshment in the Glasgow scenery because it was so beautiful. Okay, so because Pauline has finished her very passionate presentation, so it is officially that I'm opening the Q&A session. For those who wish to ask questions to both of our speakers, to Uni of Glasgow or as well as to Pauline, you may use the raise hand feature in the Zoom, or maybe you can type down your questions in the chat box Zoom. Atau bagi teman-teman atau audiens yang ingin menyampaikan pertanyaan secara langsung, bisa raise hand, bisa berbahasa Indonesia ataupun bahasa Inggris. Nanti akan saya bantu untuk terjemahkan apabila ditanyakan kepada narasumber terkait. Jadi teman-teman yang mau pakai bahasa Indonesia, no worries, because I will help to translate it to our speakers for today. Okay, so we have several questions. I think this one is dedicated for the Uni of Glasgow. Thank you for the presentation. I would like to ask for Uni of Glasgow, if using the Duolingo English test, is it allowed as one of the requirements to register at the University of Glasgow? Thank you. Maybe the representatives, one of the Uni of Glasgow, you may open your mic and answer this question.
That one. Unfortunately for this year, we are not accepting Duolingo. We did accept Duolingo last year. It was a new measure as a result of the pandemic when things like IELTS and TOEFL weren't accepted, but we have returned to our sort of standard entry policy, so it will be IELTS or TOEFL. There's a couple of other tests online under our sort of formal English language test, but unfortunately Duolingo is not one of those, and we're not alone in that. I know quite a few of the UK universities are in the same position. I'm not sure about the likes of Spain and things, but it's IELTS and TOEFL are the main ones that we're looking for this year. So unfortunately Duolingo's a no, I'm afraid.
All right, thank you, Miss Sonak Mak, that Uni of Glasgow doesn't accept the Duolingo test this year. Is it true? Because for the previous presentation, I saw that they accept the TOEFL IBT at its minimum score of 78, if I'm not mistaken, and the minimum score of IELTS is 6.0, if I am mistaken. No? Okay. Only IELTS minimum score is 6.0, and TOEFL IBT, which is the internet-based test, not the paper-based, is 78. So if you wish to enroll in Uni of Glasgow in IISMA 2022, please kindly to take the IELTS test or take the TOEFL IBT test instead of Duolingo. Okay, thank you, Ms.
I'll just pop the link in the chat box because there are a couple of other tests, but I'll pop the link to the test that we accept and the scores that are required into the chat box. I'll just find that link and pop it in for everyone as well.
Oh yeah, that's true, because you will still have to prepare for the test, and you will still have to prepare for the date of the test placement, and then for waiting for the result to come, and meanwhile the registration is around the corner. Maybe you guys who wish to register for Uni of Glasgow, you have to manage your time very tightly, because the test requirements only limited to IELTS and TOEFL IBT. Okay, thank you, Miss Sona. Okay, I will read the second question is, hello, it was an insightful presentation. I'm Sevi from Faculty of Pharmacy, Airlangga University. I want to ask Kak Pauline. Okay, this one is for Pauline. How long is your preparation for IISMA program, and what was the most difficult selection process that you went through, and what are your tips to deal with it? Thank you so much for sharing. Pauline, kindly unmute yourself. The time is yours.
So ISMA is actually a relatively new program. Like it was launched on 2021, and we were only shown like the trailer of the program like on, I don't know, March, I think, and it was only like a time of 1 month that they opened for registration, and they published the names of the universities that are part of this ISMA program was like a week or 2 weeks before the registration opened. So yeah, it was like a really short, it was a really short window. So I didn't really have much time preparation for ISMA because I really didn't know what to prepare before. You can't exactly ask an alumni. You couldn't exactly ask an alumni if you were me at that time. So I think the part that actually took most of my time is actually from a registration part. They already published, they already like released the essay questions. It took me around a week. I think they only opened like for like 2 weeks of registration. I kind of forgot. So it took me like for a week, but full on 24 hours. I woke up remembering about the essays. Oh my God, what I'm going to do with the essay, everything. I think about it every single time, every single minute actually. So yeah, I think it was one of the most difficult because yeah, it's UK. I've never been to UK. I don't really know I don't even know if there was like a tutor, lecture, and lab, which is like a very popular structure of education in the UK. It is which is very much different from Indonesia, that we only have lectures. So I had to do like lots of research. So my tips would be, I think during that 2 weeks window of registration for essay, I didn't really do your research. And UofG's Instagram is really, really informative. I got lots of information regarding the student activities and also accommodation and stuffs from UofG's Instagram. So yeah, really do check the highlights, the Instagram highlights, and then the website. And also don't hesitate to actually reach out to communities there. I actually reached out to this book club of Glasgow. I texted them through Instagram. I told them that I was thinking to go for an exchange term for on winter to Glasgow. Are you guys open for international students to just jump into the community for like few months? And they said they were very open about that. And through those kind of conversations, actually reaching out to the communities, that proves the credibility of your essay. So when the interviewer actually asks you about the stuff of the activities that you promised that you were going to do on your essay, you can keep yourself keep yourself accountable, and they can keep yourself accountable. So yeah. My tips will be, first, do lots of research and try to also read some of the articles that were actually published by the lecturers of Glasgow, and then check out the Instagram of Glasgow, and then don't forget to reach out the communities there and people there, and reach out to PPI as well. They can answer lots of questions. They actually they dealt with me a couple of times before I was applying. So yeah, I hope that answers.
Okay, thank you so much, Pauline, for sharing. And yeah, corresponding to Pauline's answer, as the first batch of IISMA awardee, last year we were given so little time to the registration process. Like maybe it's just for 2 weeks long, like maybe 10 days. It's just 10 days long to fill in your certificates, your CV, maybe and your essay. There are 4 essays. And I think from my personal experience, the most challenging part of the registration of IISMA itself is your time management. It's like your very time management, like, oh, I have to ask for the faculty for this one, I have to ask for the university for these requirements, and I have to get my English test result like by the time the registration is open, or maybe before that. It will be good, it will be better. And if you have, it is better that if you have prepared all of that before the application is open, because that will be very helpful to you, for you just only to attach and upload the files, so that you will be not in a rush for everything. Because I believe that this year's deadline is like for almost a month long, so you still have time for collecting all of the requirements for the test. Okay, so the next one is, we have from our fellows, it is for Uni of Glasgow. Hi, is there any specific criteria where the applicant of IISMA program granted an opportunity to study at Uni of Glasgow? For the representative of Glasgow, the time is yours and you may unmute yourself.
Hi, sorry, would you be able to repeat the question again? Sorry.
Okay, I will. Is there any specific criteria where the applicant of IISMA program granted an opportunity to study at Uni of Glasgow?
No, from the University of Glasgow perspective, what we receive, the students are selected by IISMA, by Campus Merdeka, DGHERT, and then so that is the selection is made by them, and our entry requirements are the same. So we are looking for a 3.0 GPA and the English language requirements. So as long as students meet those requirements, we are very happy to accept onto the study abroad program at Glasgow.
All right, thank you, Ms. McGowan. So to highlight Ms. McGowan answer, there is no as like specific eligibility for IISMA students, like you have to be like that or this. The first thing is your minimum GPA is 3.0, and then your English requirements meets the Uni of Glasgow requirements, like the TOEFL IBT test and the IELTS test. And all of the selection criteria for the IISMA program is done by the Indonesian government. So there is no worries for you to like worry about like what will do Glasgow needs me to be like, because the selection process is done by the Indonesian government.
That's correct. Yep. So we have no additional requirements over and above that.
Okay, so it's feel free for you, if you have met all of the criteria mentioned by the Uni of Glasgow, you can just apply right away. Go for it.
What I was also going to say, Quinn, is having Alphen based in country is really helpful in terms of, I think, I'm conscious it is overwhelming for you guys. You have, a huge array of universities that you can choose from, not just within the UK, obviously people like yourself choosing top universities in Spain, as well as in, lots of other parts of the world. So I guess the only additional thing I would say, and it's not a criteria, but if you're trying to narrow down your choices, I know we've sort of thrown a lot of information at you today, but I know Alphen or Claire and myself would be more than happy if people want to reach out individually if they've got any particular questions that perhaps they've not thought of today, or maybe Glasgow's one of your choices and you've maybe got 2 or 3 others and you're sort of trying to decide between them. Then we would happily try and sort of talk to you about what it is that's going to be the best fit for you when making those choices as well.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Sonahma, for the additional information that is very helpful for our soon-to-be IISMA Glasgow awardees. And then, because the time is closing up, and then I will move up to our last question. It is for Pauline. It happens to be one of your junior, I think, Pauline. One of your junior or maybe friends asked about, if I got accepted at IISMA, how is the academic transcript converted in Faculty of Public Health? Will the courses we take be recognized by the academic of the faculty, or do we need to retake the courses in UNAIR after ISMA? Thank you. Pauline, the floor is yours. You may unmute yourself.
Okay, so for this one is actually very tricky. For my own faculty, actually, I think the situation is pretty much different. The cases are pretty much different if you happen to be in another faculty. But if you're in public health, I don't think the deans would accept the conversion. So there was only one course that I could convert. So it was the Measuring Your Social World. It's actually a lot like methodology penelitian in Faculty of Public Health. It's about research, just a different approach using R. When in public health we use it as SPSS. That was the only one that I could convert. So and the other courses like Scottish Literature and Economic Social History 1A, I could only convert it into SKPI, I guess, or SKP. I kind of forgot. This conversion thing is something that I'm still dealing up to today. So it's kind of like a hassle. So yeah. But in other faculties, there are some of my friends too that was told they could convert the whole thing. So yeah, but in public health, the deans would only accept the ones that actually quite relevant to what you're studying. And then what else? Oh yeah, some of my friends in other faculties actually took this semester off, so they had to catch up in next term. So yeah, cuti, like the ones in facultas kedokteran, like the ones in medicine. So yeah, I think that I hope that answers.
All right, thank you, Pauline, for sharing for the faculty related struggles that I have still done it too. Me too, I'm still struggling for the conversion things because Pauline is from a science program, science faculty, and I'm from a humanity faculty and social. So because Pauline has taken the courses relating to philosophies and then culture and linguistics, I believe that she has explained before, it is a challenge itself to convert to her faculty, which is a public health. And it's fortunate for Pauline, she can still make it to convert it to one of her course in the Faculty of Public Health. And in my own experience, because I'm a social and humanities student in Indonesia, in UNAIR, as well as I took social courses in my house university in Barcelona too. So it is there is no such thing as like challenges itself to convert it, because I made it to convert all of 4 of my courses in Barcelona. But no worries, because as Nadiem Makarim, our Ministry of Education, had said that IISMA program is made to encourage all of you to step out of your comfort zone, just like Pauline did from Public Health UNAIR to Glasgow. She had jumped out of her comfort zone into the social and humanities sphere, out of her origin public health sphere.
So sorry, can I actually add something? I think this is really important thing to add. So yeah, while other of my friends actually took the semester off, for Universitas Airlangga student, when you granted this IISMA scholarship, you actually got your tuition fee are not actually waived. So I decided to still undergo the semester. So while doing the 60 credits in U of G, I also took a full credit in UNAIR, including all the lintas minute. But no worries, even though I had like a 7 hours difference to Surabaya time, the lecturers actually allowed me to do the courses asynchronously. So I didn't really have to attend the classes, but they gave me the slides, they gave me the recording of the class and stuff. And for the for the midterm tests and for the final tests, they actually rearranged the time for me. And for presentation or student group activities, I actually presented myself through voice recordings. So yeah, that's one way to do it. But yeah, I think I still did okay in UNER too. So yeah, that's
Okay, thank you, Pauline. It is very informative, and yeah, it is true that kalau kalian keterima ISMA, UKT kalian pada semester kalian keterima itu akan dibebaskan, seperti kami yang keterima ISMA pada tahun kemarin. No, worry not, because you will be freed from paying tuition fee in UNAIR itself, and worry not too, because I believe that many of your lecturers from your faculty and your major will helpfully help you to convert your credit course from your host university to your original one in your home university in UNAIR. Okay, all right. Thank you everyone for this very engaging Q&A session, and thank you for the representatives from Uni of Glasgow and Pauline herself. As the time closing by, we're reaching the end of the meeting session. As well as the series of events today, which is the fourth session of ISMA sharing session and socialization. As the host for today's meeting, I would like to thank for the representatives of Uni of Glasgow. There are the distinguished Professor Claire McMagnus, Miss Sonahmak, Mr. Alvin Firdaus, and lastly, Miss Colette McGowan, that has helped us through the session with the very engaging presentation, in addition from Pauline's experience presentation. Okay, so to the audience of this meeting, if you still have more questions regarding the ISMA registration application process, and would like to be more prepared for the program, ISMA 2022, you can attend our next meeting, our next info session and socialization in February 21st. I believe it is next Monday. And as a reminder, don't forget to register yourself and fill in the form for the Duolingo English test form reimbursement for you who wish to take the Duolingo test and wish to get the reimbursement. And if you would like to ask more about the reimbursement, please kindly reach us out at Global UNAIR on Instagram, because our admin will be gladfully to help you and to assist you into the reimbursement process. All right, everyone, good evening and good afternoon in Glasgow. I'm Quindi Raizanina, serving as the Master of Ceremony today. Would like to thank the University of Glasgow representatives for the very fruitful and insightful presentation, and thank you for Pauline for sharing her very wonderful and magical, as she said, about studying in Glasgow. Pak Iman Harimawan and the rest of Erlangga Global Engagement Committee, and the presence of all of you guys who are so enthusiastic and so passionate about applying in ISMA program. Hopefully by applying this, by joining this session, you can get the higher chance to be accepted as an ISMA awardee and to continue me and Pauline's estafette for ISMA awardee for the batch 2022. With this, I'm saying that this meeting is officially closed, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you at next session. Bye.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you, Prof.
Bye.
Claire.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sean and Alvin.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Pauline.
Pauline
Bye.
and
Goodbye,
Queen.
guys.